Hi everyone. So in this video today, we are going to do a quick analysis of the UCLAT 2021 mock that the Abhyaas LawPrep team had conducted very recently. All ALPMs, I'm sure, are already aware of it, and most of you have already taken the mock, I guess. Now, those of you who are yet to take the mock, I suggest that you go back and attempt the mock first and then come back to this video so that you can make the best use of it, right? Now, before I get into the analysis of the mock, I would like to address a few common queries that a lot of students keep having with respect to the CLAT exam, right? Now, one of that is order of sections to attempt, and the other one is time spent on each section. Once we cover these two aspects, then we'll go into a detailed analysis of the UCLAT mock in general. So coming to the first point with respect to order of sections to attempt, I'm sure the discussion would have happened. I would have discussed the same across different classes, but I felt this would be a right platform to discuss this once again. Now, with respect to the order of section, I'm sure a lot of you are comfortable or are used to doing the current affairs section first, right? Which makes sense to the extent that, yes, this is a less time consuming section. You can do a lot of questions in a minimum amount of time and get going, right? You can move on from one section. You can have this idea that one section is already done. But what happens is, with respect to in the context of the new CLAT pattern that has come up since last year, the order of the sections might need a little bit of modification. While in the old pattern, our team would have definitely suggested you guys to go ahead and do the current affairs section first. This would need a little bit of changing, given that the new pattern is entirely passage based, right? Now, the idea behind this other approach of, instead of doing current affairs first, the idea behind that is to first understand how the sections are actually meaning, which sections are passages heavy and which sections are not. Now, if you know clearly your English, your legal, and logical, all these three sections are clearly passage based sections, as in most of the questions, in fact in legal and English, all of the questions are passage based, right? So very passage heavy, very reading heavy kind of sections these are. Whereas your current affairs and quant, right, on the other hand, are not really reading heavy in that context. Obviously, yes, you have passages in your current affairs section also, but it's not like you have to read it so thoroughly as you would read a legal passage or an English passage, right? Current affairs, you know, you always do a skim scan kind of a thing. I mean, you go to the passage only wherever needed. If there is a question which is asking identify X from the passage, only in those contexts you might have to get back to the passage, but otherwise not so much. And in the quant section, I'm not really saying the given data or the, table or bar or graph, whatever it is. I'm not saying it's not important, but definitely you understand it doesn't require the kind of reading that English, legal, or logical would require, right? So broadly speaking, if you see, we can divide our passages into these two categories. One is your reading heavy, and this is probably question heavy, as in the questions matter more than actually reading, right? So the one way to understand or order your sections would be to, alternate between these, as in, instead of doing all reading heavy sections together, you try to alternate them. Meaning, let us say you start with an English, just an example. Then you might want to do current affairs. Then you can go ahead and do legal. Then come back, do quant, and then finally logical, right? Now, between English and logical, it depends entirely upon your area of expertise or your strength, basically. You can choose to do any one. Ideally, we suggest not to start off with the legal section. So probably you can leave it in the middle. And at the same time, legal is not something that you can afford to do at the very end also. That would be risky as well. So ideally, you can plan to do legal in the middle. English and logical, you can, interchange based on your comfort. And quant, and between quant and current affairs, I'm sure it is better to do current affairs section as the second section after English or logical. You might want to do current affairs section because, yes, that is still a very scoring section, less time consuming section that doesn't really change. Even though it is passage based, you would still treat current affairs as a very less time consuming section. So you want to get it done with in at least in the first half of your exam, right? So that is with respect to the order of sections. Again, slight changes here and there can always happen. This is only a suggested order that we are giving. Obviously, depending on your own comfort and your own section that you are more comfortable or less comfortable with, you can play around this order a little bit and figure out which one works best for you, right? So while taking all the different mocks, you can try out different strategies, different orders, and then figure out which one works the best for you, right? It might be slightly different for each individual. So this is the general order or general approach that we suggest, is to alternate out the reading heavy passages with the less reading passages, right? Sorry, less reading sections. Right? That way, you're able to probably attempt the whole exam in a much better frame of mind.